Hi everyone, I hope you all are great. Today we will have commas. First, you have to log in using the aplusstudent.com. Click on your name, move on to language at the grade 8. Chapters, commas, and lesson will be commas with direct addresses, introductory words, interjection and interrupters, commas with coordinating adjectives. Okay, so let's start now. You have to use commas to separate the name of a person being spoken to from the rest of the sentence. So if you have to say the name of a person and you need to separate it with a comma, okay? So you have to make sure that it shows a difference, okay? You have to separate the name of a person being spoken to from the rest of the sentence, okay? So for example, we have thank you, Bella, right? So we have what? Thank you, we have a comma and we have Bella. Now, thank you, Bella, for your help. So you can see that we have a comma after thank you, and then we have a comma after Bella. That's just showing that we are separating the name from the rest of the sentence, okay? All right, so you have to use a comma after words like yes, no, well, and many others when they are followed by a complete sentence, okay? So if you have yes, no, well, many others, and the rest of the words that are similar, you have to use a comma in between. So we have yes, then you put a comma, then that sounds great. Okay? Then use the comma after a mild interjection. Oh, what a stunning sunset. So if you have or you have to use. All right. So if you have or, it's like a mild interjection. So you would have to use a comma to separate it. Oh, that is beautiful. You use a comma in between. Now use commas around an interrupter, which is a word, phrase, or clause that adds additional non-essential information to the sentence. So you, of course, may have a different opinion. So something like this, you have to use a comma in between to separate it from the sentence. Okay. So we have, let's look at this. Correct the text by inserting one comma. Oh no, the widespread use of antibacterial is causing resistant bacteria to spread. So we have, oh no, you can see. So we have to put a comma here in between that. Then we have some lizards can, as you may know, shed their tails and grow new ones. So what do we have here? Let's look at it. So we have, as you may know, so we have to make sure we put a comma in between that. So you have to just make sure that you put the right comma for the interrupters, the mild interjection, introductory words. So like yes, oh, all these are introductory words. So let's complete the sentence with the right, comma. Is it going to be the first one? Mr. Wilkins, though, tends to exaggerate, so I am not sure that I entirely believe his story. Yeah, so is it first or second? So we have the first one. So, oh no, the widespread use of antibacterials is causing resistant bacteria to spread. Is it the first or the second? Okay, so we have what? The first? No, the forecast for tomorrow night is calling for partly cloudy skies, not rain. First to second. Alright, so we have no, the first one. So you put a comma after the no. Alright, use this software installation instruction are baffling. Would you explain what I'm supposed to do next? So first to second. So we have the first one. Ezra was, as usual, being too loud, so I asked him to talk more quietly, first or second. Okay, so we have the first one. As usual, you put a comma in between that. Oh ho, this toothache is getting worse, but I don't know when I can fit in a dentist appointment. First or second. So the first one, our dance rehearsal, as you will recall, was rescheduled for next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. First or second. Okay, so we have the first one. Wow, the chorus steno section sounds sensational tonight. First or second? Okay, so we have the first one. All right, that's it for this lesson. We'll move on to the next one. So we have commas with coordinate adjectives. All right, so look for. Okay, so you have to look for adjectives that are next to each other and then test whether they are coordinate adjective. So for example, we have upper level and algebra are not coordinate adjectives, so they should not be separated with a comma. All right, so you can tell because the text does not sound right at all when the adjective order is changed or when and is inserted. Okay. So basically, we have coordinate adjectives are adjectives that describes the same noun equally. They should be separated with commas, okay? So they need to be separated at. Answer these questions to check for coordinate adjective. Does the text still sound okay when the adjective order is changed? Now, does the text still sound okay when and is inserted? So you have to make sure and see that if the adjective order is changed, does it sound okay? Or if you add and, does it sound okay? Now, if the answer to both question is yes, then the adjective are coordinate and should be separated with commas. So, for example, we have here. So although Karin's upper level algebra class requires long hours of studying, she's excited about the course because she enjoys solving advanced complicated math problems. Okay? So that's why we have over here look for adjectives that are next to each other and then test whether they are coordinate adjective. Okay? So we said upper level and algebra cannot go. So we have what? Advanced and complicated are coordinate adjectives, so they should be separated with a comma. You can tell because the text still sounds okay when the adjective order is changed, as well as when an is inserted. So if you say complicated advanced math problem, or you say advanced and complicated math problem, it still goes and it still makes absolute sense. So let's go to the test and you can share your answers. So we have over here for their vacation, Jackson and Molly rented a small beach bungalow, but the unanticipated fast approaching hurricane forced them to evacuate and end their vacation early. Is it first or second? So we have unanticipated, fast approaching. So that is the adjective, and we can put a comma in between, and it still goes. Thorough habitual hand washing is an ideal way to keep yourself healthy. Disinfecting contaminated surface is another simple, effective method for preventing the spread of viruses. So is it the first or the second? So we have the first. Okay, the new recruits managed the easy 6 mile hike without too much trouble, but they were ready to collapse by the end of the long, arduous sprint that followed. Is it gonna be the first or second? So what do we have? The first one, long, and you put a comma in between long, okay? Knowing that we had been traveling on narrow, winding mountain roads, we put new snow tires on the car before setting out. So is it first or second? So we have what's the first. Being observant is an essential investigation skill for a police detective because sometimes it is small, subtle clues that help solve a crime. So first to second. Okay, so we have what? Subtle and small, right? So we put a comma in between that. The frustrated, overwhelmed writer sat at the antique mahogany desk for hours, attempting to complete the final draft of his novel, first to second. So we have the first. In the book Catch 22, written by the modern American author Joseph Hiller, World War II airmen face an absurd, frustrating contradiction. Only the insane can opt out of the dangerous flights, yet trying to opt out is viewed as proof of sanity. First or second? All right, so we have the first. So that's it for our lesson on the commas. Can you tell me if you have any questions or not? All right, since we have no questions, we'll end here. Complete this lesson if you haven't done it. See you all next time. Bye.